everybody, Doll with a Dollar here, and today I'm going to be showing you 5 easy and cheap Pinterest-inspired DIYs for Father's Day to do. And the great thing about these, besides the fact that they're really easy, is they all cost under $5 to do. Father's Day is a little over a week away now, and whenever you're on a budget, whenever you have grandfathers and fathers and uncles or whoever else that you do for Father's Day, it can get really expensive. So I have 5 ideas for you today of things that you can do for your loved ones for Father's Day. For this first DIY, we are going to be making this bleach dyed t-shirt that I saw on Pinterest. Do you want to make Daddy a present? You do? Come on. The first thing you're going to need is just some contact paper. Okay. Let's see your cheesy hand. Alright, spread your fingers out. I'm going to trace it. Okay. So the first thing we did was I got my little boy and put his hand on the contact paper and started to trace it. With bigger kids, this might be a little bit easier. My little boy is not quite 2 yet, but he did all right. The first attempt was not as good because he moved his hand, just as you're seeing right now, and so I had to just move over and start again. Don't worry if it's not exactly perfect, because I don't think your husband or dad or whatever is going to go back and hold your hand up next to it. The thing is just to get kind of the general idea of the shape and size so that you can look back and say, oh, look how tiny my little boy's hand was. So right there, he took his hand off and I just kind of smoothed out a couple of the rough edges and just showing you the hand. It's not very dark, which is fine, but you can get the outline of his hand. The next thing we did was just cut his hand out. Easy breezy, very simple, just cut it out. The reason we're using contact paper for this is so that we can stick it on the shirt, and if you just use paper or whatever, whenever you spray the bleach on, it would just the paper would just soak up the bleach and you probably wouldn't see any outline of a hand. And so that's why you want something that can stick onto the shirt. It doesn't have to be contact paper, but that was just the cheapest thing I could find since it was $1 at the Dollar Tree. But you could use vinyl or some other kind of sticky type paper if you didn't want to use contact paper. And here I'm just rounding off the edge just to make a nice hand-shaped sticker. So my camera apparently wasn't recording this part, but basically I just peeled the backing off of the contact paper and then stuck the hand on the shirt. The next thing, as you see here, is I'm just spraying the shirt with a bottle of bleach. I had some bleach at home already, so I didn't have to buy any, and I had a spray bottle that I'd bought before. Here I'm having a little trouble getting the spray bottle to squirt, but once I got it started, it all started coming out good, so I just sprayed it very evenly all over the shirt. And what's cool is in a minute you'll see the color start to change, right before your eyes, right there. Already some orange and brown colors are starting to come in, and so it's already working. It's very cool. So I just sprayed it. I didn't spray the entire shirt because I wanted the majority of the shirt to stay black. But I liked kind of the example on Pinterest where there was just some fading on the one side and then the rest was black. After the shirt finished drying, I just pulled the sticker off, and as you can see, it actually didn't turn out like I thought it would. I was expecting a really crisp black handprint, but it just kind of ended up being this faded orange kind of handprint. You can still see the outline of his hand, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. But don't fret if something like this happens to you. Maybe it won't happen to you, but if it does, you can just come back and do what I did. What I decided to do was just to grab a Sharpie and then trace around his hand, because you can still see where the outline was. So here I'm just going around and tracing all of his fingers, and then to make a bad situation even kind of just a little bit better was I just wrote 2016 underneath the handprint so that we could remember what year we made the shirt and stuff like that. Also, I think whenever the handprint was outlined, it looked really kind of cool. My husband is a huge Lion King fan, and maybe I'm just seeing things because I'm a huge Disney fan, but this kind of looks to me like one of the handprints that Rafiki put on the mountain wall in the Lion King. So anyway, yeah, I just thought it looked kind of cool and kind of Lion King-ish, so even though it didn't turn out exactly like I was planning, it turned out okay, I think. For our next Father's Day DIY gift, I saw this beer cake on Pinterest, but since my husband doesn't drink, I thought I would do one out of his favorite drink, which is Mountain Dew. Of the beer cake, the people put lottery tickets, but I don't have that either, so I decided to use this really cute printable I found on Pinterest. But my printer was out of ink, so I decided just to draw out the image myself. The next thing I did was just cut out a circle from some cardboard that I already had at home. So I traced a small cake pan and just cut around it with an X-Acto knife. I didn't care if it was exactly right or not. You know, the cardboard's going to be covered up with your cans anyway. So yeah, I just cut out a circle. My husband's favorite Mountain Dew flavor is Livewire, but they don't have it very often. I started placing cans on a larger circle to begin with, but then I realized I would have needed a lot more than one case of Mountain Dew, so I just used the small size cake pan to trace my circle, and then I just put the cans in a circle. And then what I did was I took some ribbon and tied around the base of the cake so that it would kind of stick together, and then I just put more Coke cans, Mountain Dew cans on top of that in a smaller circle and tied all of them together till I had a stacked kind of cake shape. After I had the cans tied together, I put another string along the bottom and brought it up through the top and tied everything together so you have like a nice neat little package. And then I took that card that I made earlier and poked a hole through it and strung it through and tied it so that it's just a cute little cake type Mountain Dew mountain thing. So yeah. I'm sure you probably could find this next thing on Pinterest, but it's just something that I've been doing for a very long time. If you have a movie fan in your life, or if you don't know what to get somebody, this is always a good gift to do for somebody. I had this popcorn bucket at home already, and since I'm giving it to my husband, I'm just going to use what I already have. But you can buy these buckets kind of like this at the Dollar Tree for $1. And here I'm just putting some tissue paper that I already had in the bottom to kind of keep everything together, and then all you do is you just put everything in the bucket. So I have the Incredible Hulk movie that I got on Amazon for really cheap, and it's used, but my husband won't care because he'll be excited to have the Hulk movie. And I got some candy on clearance from World Market, so I'm just putting that in the bucket along with a couple more of those Mountain Dews that I didn't use in the cake thing, and then a couple of packs of popcorn. So this is a really inexpensive gift. It can be as cheap or as expensive as you want. You can buy new movies, or buy 20-ounce drinks or multiple candies or whatever, but it's just a really cool little date night at home, and so it's just a good little movie box. I also found this next project on Pinterest. My dad is just like a general fixer-upper guy. He used to work on cars a lot, and I really believe he could probably fix anything that he put his mind to. So when I saw this on Pinterest, I thought it would be a really cute project to make for him. I started out with the name G Daddy first. My little boy calls my dad G Daddy, and I already had these stickers, but I knew the colors wouldn't go well with the project, so what I did was I just painted the stickers black. Next, I just traced a heart onto the wooden plaque I got from Walmart. The plaque was 97 cents, and I just traced a heart that I cut out of construction paper so that I would have my placement right. And I used pencil so that I could erase the pencil later. I next got my nuts and bolts. I bought this pack at Walmart for $1.46, and I just bought the one pack and it ended up being just enough. So I'm just going to start gluing them on. So my camera battery died in the process of doing this, so you won't see the whole thing here, but basically I just laid out a line of hot glue every now and then, and I just started placing the nuts and bolts randomly all over the heart, and I tried to do a good variation in case I would have to buy any more or come back later and put extra, but it worked out fine. I just glued them all on until I got the design that I was happy with. After I had all of the nuts and bolts glued on, it was time to put the stickers on, and even though they're stickers, I decided to use hot glue to glue them on so that they would stay even better, because I was afraid if I just stuck them on then they would come off. So here I am, and I just put G Daddy across the heart with hot glue. The same way as in my Mother's Day video, it wouldn't be a Father's Day DIY without making a card. My husband is a big superhero fan, mostly Marvel with the Avengers, and he especially likes Spider-Man and the Hulk. So when I saw this image on Pinterest, I thought it would be the perfect card to make. I started out just as like a little kid would, and I took a yellow sheet of construction paper and folded it in half, and then I took my little boy's hand and I painted the bottom part, like the palm part, green, because that's going to be the Hulk's head. I did the Hulk instead of a Captain America like that was in the Pinterest picture, because like I said, my husband prefers the Hulk. So I painted my little boy's hand green and then purple for the pants, and then we just printed it onto the construction paper. And then we just decorated it. We wrote all of the text and decorated the Hulk.